What's going on, guys? Welcome to the den. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last stream. The channel's done. If you guys haven't heard, apparently from the internet and all over the place, Star Wars is dead now. So I don't really have anything to add to the channel anymore. The Acolyte killed Star Wars, and this will be our last one. But no, on a serious note, because that's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. On a serious note, though, whether you love Acolyte, whether you hate Acolyte, or you're somewhere in the middle, we're here to talk about it. I got the homies here today, and I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. We have some. I want to talk to one person in the chat, Everest Productions, man. I appreciate you writing the sonnet that you freaking gave me. Due to time constraints and stuff like that, I'm just kind of going to read your last one and your first one, but I will personally read all your stuff afterwards. You're noticed, and I'm not just skipping over you. I just don't have time to sit through all your stuff. Hey, PMP crew, letting you guys know my opinion on this. I think this episode is the worst piece of Star Wars media I've ever seen. The more I think about it, the more I loathe it and what it represents. And look, man, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. Or anything like that. Everybody likes something. Everybody hates something. For me, it's Book of Boba Fett. I don't like Book of Boba Fett. I think it's the worst thing that Disney's created or piece of Star Wars content. Everybody has their thing. So you are heard. I'm not going to be sitting here putting you down, even if I disagree with you and stuff like that. And then I'm going to read your last one. To end it off, no longer will I be watching The Acolyte. I look forward to more real Star Wars and/or season 2. As many do, it doesn't feel right to continue moving forward on this show. Then, hey, man, that's totally fair, and I think honestly, that's the smart move. If you're becoming more like, not saying you're toxic, but if you're becoming more hateful and you don't like the show and you're not enjoying it, just move on. That's the great thing about Star Wars is there's so much content out there. You're can kind of pick and choose, and it does suck that you can't just love everything and you kind of have to pick and choose, but also the good thing is that you can. So with that, we're kind of going to be moving forward, and I'm curious to hear what you guys thought, because I know we have some mixed opinions in the chat today. So I'll kind of start with how I felt about episode 3, and then I'd love to hear what you guys thought. For me personally, I'm kind of in the middle ground. I think we need more information on the story before I can really give a definitive, hey, I'm done with Acolyte, or hey, I really enjoy it. Right now it's kind of just putting me in the middle, which I don't know if that's necessarily a great thing either, because like I'm not excited to really like buy any of the merch or buy any of the lightsaber. Like I'm not really excited as far as like that goes, but we'll kind of break down and get into it. But I don't know. I just like this episode had some things that I enjoyed, and it had some things that I was like, man, that's weird. I don't like that. So I'm kind of in the middle ground. But what about you guys? I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, it definitely surprised me. I feel like in a better way than I thought, because I was a little late to the party. I've been watching episodes of The Acolyte a few days later than everyone else. So going into it, I've already heard so much negativity surrounding it. So when I actually watched it, it definitely surprised me in a good way. We've already started to dive into the backstory of the twins. So I like how the show isn't dragging out that mystery. So it seems clear with its direction in that way, which I appreciate. And this one also kind of felt not necessarily a complete episode, because there's obviously another part to it that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But the ending to it didn't feel like a rough cut like the other two have. And this one really made me question like all players in it. Who's the good people? Who's the bad people?
Yeah.
And it's always just refreshing to me to have more interpretations of the Force and what it means to other people and cultures in the galaxy.
Well, you got to think too, is like, as far as like the Force goes, like we're talking about a galaxy here. So it's not just like one planet or anything like that. There's like hundreds of planets. So it's like, I think it was in that one Visions episode where they called it like I can't even remember what it was, but it was like the Majina or something like that. They like had a different interpretation of the Force. And then I kind of took it like that. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's the Force. But like if other people interpret it as something else, it's still kind of the same thing. They just have a different word for it. You know, it's like saying like soda or calling it pop. Like they're both, it's both soda. You know, regardless of what you call it.
That's a
Fizzy
good way to
bubbly.
Fizzy bubbly. Yeah.
No, I mean that's you can go both ways with that statement too, because I mean even the people who practice the Force don't even necessarily know all of the ins and outs of it anyways. You get was it scenes in the Clone Wars where Yoda is physically talking to the Wills, but it's around this time that Qui-Gon has just kind of discovered what it is to become a Force ghost, and he wasn't even part of the council. The so-called council of highfalutin people that are like, we are above your politics. We pretty much know what the Force is. There's nothing to worry about. And then they got blindsided, right? Because they didn't know the beyonds of the Force. Master Yoda said, they were blinded by the dark side of the Force.
Yeah.
So if they knew all of the Force, they wouldn't have been blinded, right?
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword in that.
Sure. Sense. Definitely. Charlie, Percy, what did you guys think of the episode?
You want to go first, man? You want me to?
If you got it, go ahead.
Okay. Oh man, okay. So I'm gonna get something out of the way really fast, and I won't make it too long.
The floor is yours.
I really do love Star Wars. Love it. I'm pretty sure we can all say that.
Liar.
Yeah, right. More Dragon Ball to the end. What? No, no, but seriously. I am. You can ask people I hang out with and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever been truly, really heated to the point where I'm generally get a little irritated and mad. Too much. It takes a lot. One, I'm a grown ass adult. I got a lot to do. I don't have time for, stuff that apparently the internet's been whatever.
That's the problem. The trolls have all the time in the world because they don't have anything better to do.
Exactly.
Just grow up.
Yeah.
The point, anyways. So, it's very hard for that. And during the watch party that we were doing, I even, called him like, "Look, I'm sorry about that." I can't even watch it. Not the episode. I've rewatched it 2 times.
Nice.
I can't watch me get like that.
Yeah.
I cannot stand. Okay, just cut the throat of this. I really can't stand when people piggyback off of someone just to come in and just assumption. Assumption is the mother of all failures. There's a punch in there somewhere, a really mean punch. Deathstroke reference. But look, I love Star Wars. I really do. There have been certain shows and movies where I will just, it's no secret, I don't love everything that stuff has happened, and I'll just cut it out. I don't care and move on.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yeah, there are shows where I'm just like, wasn't for me. It's okay. I got everything else. Movies that I've blacked out. I'm like, okay, if you enjoy it, cool, man. But there's no need at all. Why the freaking hell is mine? Okay, there we go. But there is no need to be so asinine about being an asshole. That's the last thing I'll say about that. I don't know how much I can say. But I have been livid, very, very irritated of how people have been to each other, whether it be online, even in person. For God's sakes, one, it's a show, it's a movie, it's a thing, it's something. My God, relax. Also, next, moving on to the show and what most people will probably boo-hooing about. It is only the 3rd episode. My God.
Yeah. We just don't have enough information yet.
Yes, we are just in that.
Well, we
God.
were talking about it
And
too. It's like,
yeah.
dude, there's a popularity right now and like hating Star Wars, and I'm not even saying that all those people are wrong. Like, you're entitled to like and not like what you want, but you know, you don't have to be a butt to everybody else, you know. And you know, I'm sorry because I kind of interrupted you. I'll let you kind of finish your sentence, but it's just like you can disagree. Like I said, I'll give Everest Productions. You're just kind of like the catalyst and stuff like that. Like, I don't agree with what you're saying, but that doesn't mean that we can't be friends, and we can't, you know, you just, hey, you know, this is what it is, and you know, boom. And to the bombastic dude, funny, but dude, be patience, man. Patience about, you know, this is there's a whole hour worth of content that we're about to get into. Just give us time to break into it. Charlie wants to explain his thoughts.
Yeah,
and,
I think this dives into the root of the problem too, is the lack of patience in general. Because everyone's so quick-witted and
the Stanleys, what's up, man?
And viper-tongued to call people out if they disagree or something like that. We just got to give it time and respect other people's opinions and the way they describe things and what they like. And
so and
then we can have conversations, you know?
Yeah.
I remember that was a big problem with Kenobi too, because when the Grand Inquisitor got stabbed, that one part, everyone was livid.
Star Wars is
oh
dead.
My God, they retconned Rebels, and I'm just like, we're like 3 episodes in, people, and especially with a show like this, it's like it's catered to be like a mystery series, so it's like obviously they're not going to give you all the answers in the first few episodes. What's the point of a mystery then? So people need to chill and have patience.
I also understand where they come from, though, where something like what you said with the Inquisitor being stabbed, even if you do have patience, there are certain moments plot wise that are just kind of like, okay, what could make this better? And if it does make it better, how can I forget this? You know, it's all about the rewriting of headcanon, and that's the root of the issue is that feeble term headcanon, you know. Everyone has their own Star Wars and they like their own stuff. So.
But sorry, Charlie, I derailed and then we started going off. I know you were getting
no, it's okay.
I didn't mean to
button cut us in the throat and then everything like that. Good to go. I love every single person on here. They're awesome.
No,
so you get a life.
Dude, respect. I get what you're saying, dude. Like, people just need to be, you know, we're all nerds at the end of the day, man. Just loving a fandom that, you know, was created by George, and some stuff you're gonna love, some stuff you're not, and that's just kind of how it's gonna be. We, from the guy that was just in here just talking, I mean, I said I was kind of in the middle of the road. JT said he had some stuff he liked and, you know, didn't like, and then Nick said he enjoyed a good chunk of the episode, and I feel like we are answering the questions, so you know.
But anyways, the last little bit I'll say about that is, do not. There is no need for stuff like that. A lot of people are just not uploading their stuff anymore. In fact, someone just deleted their, like, you know, like, I'm just gonna do something else.
Yeah,
all because the type of stuff that's coming out of this.
Yeah.
In a particular, another few channels out there just known for nothing but just bad.
Dude, most of the channels, like we were talking beforehand, like all of them are like, Star Wars is dead, really screw this.
Like, stuff's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, it's like,
sorry.
Really sick. I don't know. Just that didn't sit too well. I can't. Just, I don't know. I don't like when stuff like that happens, because George Lucas, then I'll get to the stories of what I did like. What is the main purpose of Star Wars that George Lucas always put out there? Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. What's that include? How to be a hero.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing. Someone, a brilliant man who knows Star Wars and who has lived in Star Wars and is more handsome than any one of us and has more knowledge than probably any one of us, is Sam Witwer. His whole point, what's Star Wars about? Don't be a D word.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Anyways, so that's my thoughts, and that's how I feel. And again, whatever. Now, to the story. I really did enjoy the kid acting. It takes a lot of gonads to do stuff like that. I mean, stepping up to do stuff like that, and plus, playing off, each other, everything like that. I enjoyed that. I think there's more to it than just a fire. I
Yeah,
don't
for
think
sure.
that was just because the way they were panning on the shots and certain things.
Well, you even hear the explosion
I
go
think
off.
I really think there's more to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on, who doesn't enjoy seeing a Wookiee? My God.
Yeah. Well,
And
I'm
seeing a
sure we're
Jedi
gonna get it.
Wookiee?
Yeah, we're gonna get that
Yeah,
action.
my God, you see a Jedi Wookiee? That's cool, man. And he was
Yeah.
fixing a bike. What the hell? So I really enjoyed seeing him because I think everybody's been looking forward to seeing that guy. So it was cool seeing him and seeing what some of his stuff. So besides using the Force and his, that type of stuff, I'm not doing Wookiee sound. That's just not happening. But yeah, I very much enjoyed. God, I love you, Stanleys. They follow us everywhere. Just yeah, it was cool. One last little thing, then back to the story. Well, I mean, it kind of does include the story. I don't know where people have got the whole chosen one thing. There is only one Hayden Christensen. There is only one Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, Canadian person that has a crisp jawline more than any of us. Let's face it. Trying to add humor in this when I'm trying to address something.
Yeah, for sure.
But just look, there have been many stuff like that, and I do not see the parallels. It's witches.
Yeah.
Witches are kind of.
We'll get into that
brought them all
too.
back.
Like, a little further down the line, we'll get into talking about
Yeah,
the chosen one and what's going on with that sort of stuff.
I actually enjoyed seeing stuff like that of that whole thing, and I noticed during my second run through of it, that moon or the sun or whatever it was doing something during the background deciding of whenever one was I want to do something with that, and then when it got to the other twin, it stopped, and I was like, that's weird.
I didn't pick up on that.
It did through my second through, and I was like, huh.
Well, it's also the intro, the Acolyte logo. Like that's the two moons like crossing.
Yeah. So, and again,
hey Sarah, appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. What's going on?
The main actress for May and Osha, the older one, talks about yin and yang being big influences on her.
Yeah,
too.
Good
sure.
man.
So that whole moon thing makes a lot of sense.
About seeing the way of that, how, I mean, I loved it. Every bit of that. It was cool, man. I mean, not like it's the greatest thing to slice. I'm not gonna do that. But just no, it was really cool, man. I like seeing stuff like that. Other aspects besides Jedi and Sith. We've seen hints of more higher power of Dathomir, like next power level on Ahsoka and stuff like that, which is really cool to see live action stuff like that. So seeing that and what that can mean, the difference in like a Cain and Abel situation between one, the siblings and stuff, like I want this. I'm like, oh well, this is gonna end great.
Well, it felt very sibling related. Like they're fighting, It felt very like if you have kids. I don't have kids, obviously, but I've seen kids acting like in, and shows and also like in real life. It's like that. Like, dude, they fight all the fucking time over the dumbest stuff. So it's like when they're like, pay attention. Oh, I don't want to pay it. Like it's like that's like sibling like rivalry stuff. Like just happens.
Yeah, man. You mentioned Cain and Abel. That's like to the extreme version. I mean, one the other.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean,
how it's gonna go.
It's kind of extreme with how it happened.
Yeah,
but,
she wanted to. May really wanted to kill Osha for wanting to leave the Covenant.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll get into all that a little bit. Like I got
that was my final like little end of it is, it's too soon to tell of stuff, and just I enjoyed it, and most of all, I enjoyed it watching it with my own braves and amigos. So I have spoken. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, I'm glad you got that off your chest, because I think that's something that we kind of all are feeling a little bit with the community and stuff like that, man. Like, man, you guys can just disagree, just be nerds about it, be civil, like be like, hey, at the end of the day, if you don't agree with what somebody's saying, don't be like, hey, you're an idiot, you don't know anything about Star Wars. Just be like, hey, we're gonna have to agree to disagree and move on. Like it's not hard. So
Yeah, that's not in the fine print either. I mean, knowing this how wide and vast this community is, obviously everybody has their own version of Star Wars. So
Yeah.
it's
it's
easy
hard.
to tell right after that okay, I'm going to have different views than somebody. So you would think common sense would be, okay, I should just respect them and move on. But instead, you
You
have
would think.
you would think if common sense was common, you'd think everyone would have it, right? But unfortunately, media is as strong as it's ever been, and
Yeah.
hate mobs.
Let the hate
coincide.
flow through you,
Yeah.
young Skywalker. All right, Percy, what you thinking, man?
So just general or
Yeah, just
big
just a
picture?
no, just
That's what I thought. Okay, no,
just a
that's
general side by side of what you thought of the show.
okay. I'm still on board. I'm really interested in what's going on. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I can't say really anything giant stuck out to me other than like that spice cream. You know those girls?
Oh yeah, like,
Are
what does
they
it taste like?
having drugs? Is that what's going on there?
That's what I was thinking.
Isn't spice in Star Wars just drugs?
Euphoric.
How high are you gonna get? I'm gonna eat 4 spice creams and get blazed.
That's right.
I'm gonna get the power of mini.
This is terrible.
But no, okay. So a couple other big picture things is just, general things rather is some of the cinematography in this episode was insane. Like we got so many shots of like the entire temple. I took a screenshot of every one. The sky is different. You see that the whole entire mountain is actually part of this. It's a city, like it's huge. It's massive.
I like the design of that mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big conduit almost. Like it's like a
Yeah.
big like.
And the big thing at the top, like the big triangle machine at the top there. I think that might have something to do with some Frankenstein stuff we can get into later.
Yeah, I just don't like how it's set on fire. See, everything that I had, that like you said, like you like
We'll get to
and I
that. We'll
like
get to that. You guys are jumping too far ahead. We're gonna get to that. This is the
Yeah, but
plot
we'll get to
structure.
why or
Then.
possibly why too, right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
For sure.
But yeah, that's it. Kel Nakam is my man. I just want to see him do good. I want to see him be a man, be a Wookiee man rather. And
Boogeyman.
As
it was cool when he was doing his mechanic stuff. Like I'm an apprentice mechanic right now, and seeing him actually using different tools. They had like a workbench set up. He was like grinding something out when like I won't say when, but like yeah, he's just like doing some cool like.
dude, he's got some tribal tattoos too. He's got like Aang, like
Yeah.
blue, like
I've
tribal.
noticed just about all the Jedi have tattoos except
Kelnaka
Solon
is
Gordon.
the avatar.
Yeah. So the witches are getting 8-year-olds high. So I'm gonna say
Yes.
this from as Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, from a certain point of view.
You're getting them high.
At one point, May's like, "I'm gonna eat 4 tonight," and it's like, "Oh, she's getting fucked."
It's edibles. It's the edible witches.
So that's their starburst of the stopped off.
That's how they created the siblings to the Force. They just got really high on the pops and went to town. They had a bender one night. So I do want to talk. I think because that's, to me, this is the most interesting question personally for me. What do you guys think? Because I personally think, or here I'll ask the question and then I'll tell you what I think. I want to know what you guys thought about the children being created by the mother by using the Force or like manipulating. We don't really know. They left it very vague, probably on purpose. But I think that this is like the stem of a lot of what the problem is with, like, a lot of people are like, oh, Star Wars is ruined and stuff like that, because I think they're putting all this lore that we've gotten from all these other like Plagueis and all this stuff and trying to apply it to this when we don't even have the full picture of what this really is. But I want to get I'll start off, but I want to get your guys' opinions on the Force creation. How I think it is, and it being like, because they were like they said like something about being like the chosen, or the sisters are special or something like that. Man, there's millions of planets and Star Wars and different species, religions, ideologies. Like, who's to say that the witches have their own like prophecy or their own version of the chosen one? Doesn't make the children the chosen one, because like we said, like our Charlie said earlier, Anakin's the chosen one. It's like literally 80 years before Anakin's born, or 70 years, I don't know, because it's it's 100 years before the Empire, so timeline's a little, it's too close to have another chosen one. But every religion thinks that they have something special, or they have one person who's gonna change, because even in the show she was like, pull the thread, change everything, and I think that's kind of what they are symboling. So I don't really think, personally, for me, they mean the chosen one. I would like for them to divulge a little bit more into how the mother created them with the Force, if it was like magic with the Force or something like that, because as far as I know, and from like my Star Wars knowledge, there hasn't been any being alive thus far who has been able to create a Force sensitive individual. Plagueis did it, but he did it kind of like unknowingly. The Force was kind of counterbalancing him because he was trying to extend his life and kind of play with midi-chlorians and all that stuff. So he wasn't even trying to create like Force sensitive individuals. He just wanted to know how to live forever. So it's not really the same thing. So I hope we get a little bit more into that. But I do think that's an interesting question. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about that topic of the Force creation. And we can go down the line, or we can, if anybody just wants to start, it's up to whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a big package to unwrap. So the Force itself, like we've said, we don't know the entire picture of how the show's going to play out. We're pretty much spoon-fed what information we've already got, but, and this is just my opinion, it's not the kind of cliffhanger that I want to see, because it's the kind of cliffhanger that is the volatile material that makes the fan base outraged, because it's so close to
That's so true.
the thing that we know, that if it's any closer, it's like, whoa, are you replacing this? Are you changing this? What, George? Hello? I mean, that starts the
burn it all down. Disney's done. Star Wars is done. The franchise is over. Screw everything.
Yeah, we didn't just get a fire. We didn't just get a fire in that episode. We got a fire in the community, and that was
There's symbolism.
Bad. I just don't agree with the way that was shown to us in that episode, and where it ended off.
Yeah.
Of how much we've already gotten, because now we have to wait a whole week, and we have to
we have to wait a whole week, and we're not even going to get that. They're probably going to go back to Kalnaka in like May, trying to take out Kalnaka. So we're not even going to get any of that.
Probably, but I hope the copium is your statement, in which it's possibly the witch's version of that prophecy. Yeah. Because if it's not, that's a pretty big mess up, because you also have all of this crazy source material with like Plagueis and even movies 1 through 6, starting at the first episode. We don't even see it on screen, but it's just reference of that just Shmi was just carrying young Anakin Skywalker miraculously, right? Yeah. And then you get into the sweaty lore of things, and you find out that Plagueis was basically denied of creating this all-powerful ultimate Sith, and the Wills were like, nope, we're gonna bring the ultimate Jedi. Evil will fall, but that ultimate Jedi will balance it out. Even if he becomes a Sith, he will balance it out. That's his job. You can
they gave him a draw 4 card.
Yeah, you can try to change your destiny, but that's not. It's just gonna happen in some other way. You can think of thousands and thousands of what ifs. Like, what if Qui-Gon got diced up by Maul instead of stabbed? He wouldn't have had the time to tell Obi-Wan to train him. What would have happened to Anakin then? It's destiny meant to happen anyways. And I just find it wild, because you have the Jedi and the Sith, who are obviously, besides the Yuzhang Vong, I think, well, at least in canon, the most powerful beings in existence. And even the head honcho Sith that just typically overthrew. He was about to overthrow the Jedi Order right then and there. He couldn't even do it, and he's super powerful, right? So how is random witch lady whatever just gonna come up with 2 Force sensitives?
Yeah.
And it dives into a deeper issue as well with a bunch of different source material from Legends in EU is cloning Force sensitives as well. And Max, you and I were talking about this quite recently with the Force Unleashed 2. You have the aberrant clones that Vader tampers with, and a lot of people didn't like that game because they thought Vader would never even mess with something like that, right? You have, I think his name is Jack. I don't know. He's some sort of Lego Star Wars character, maybe.
Yeah. I know you're
Like,
talking about.
Isn't he like a cloned Jedi or something like that?
Yeah,
Or they tried to-
Yeah.
That's also another messy one. And
He's
then
got a ghost.
yeah, he's got like a clone helmet or something like that. I don't know too much about it. And then you have Dark Empire, which came out a while ago, and you have the very author that said, "Do not find this as canon. This is not canon." Because they clone Palpatine, and
Yeah.
to a lot of people who didn't know about this dyad stuff with the sequels, cloning Palpatine, they believe defeats the purpose of the Chosen One story with Anakin destroying Palpatine, because he dies then too. He brings the balance there at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So it's a very messy thing about cloning Jedi, conceiving immaculate Jedi.
JT, you're like lagging real hard.
I'm lagging.
Yeah. No,
There
you're
you go.
fine. You're fine. You were like
I'm good.
cloning
Okay.
Jedi.
I got you covered.
I'm
You got stabbed with a saber. Watamboy, that's a better
Techno
reference.
Union.
That's hilarious.
And
The banking clan will sign your treaty. No, but it's a very messy thing with cloning Jedi and immaculately conceiving Force sensitive users. It's material that is meant to be in EU. It's in its own platform for a reason.
Yeah,
You know,
for
the
sure.
Star Killer stuff, that's in its own. It's in a video game for a reason. Dark Empire, comic books for a reason. The second, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring in a lot of EU stuff that sweaty fans will realize, but you have to respect the source material, or you're going to make everybody mad. So,
Which
that's
honestly,
my-
it's confusing because like Leslie Headland like said in like an interview that she like basically like her Star Wars is the Star Wars that happened in between like the end of Return of the Jedi and like Phantom Menace. So there's so much like EU not like she seems like she should have that level of kind of like respect and understanding to kind of convey that a little bit better because of all the information. Like that's like she's diving into some of this stuff.
I see a lot of it sprinkled throughout, like the Barash Vow and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
We just need more. And what we've been giving now, and how there was like that pause, with the week in between the episode, that's the kind of stuff that, okay, I can understand why the Star Wars community is freaking out, right?
and not to derail a little bit, we're gonna get back because I want to hear what all you guys think about the Force birth thing. But do you guys think that because this is a simple yes or no answer, do you guys think this show would have been better perceived if it was dropped all at once instead of week by week? Because I've seen a lot of people kind of bring that question up just for this show, being like, hey, it seems like they dropped the first 2 episodes. The first 2 episodes were okay. Most people seem to enjoy them, and then like this one, it's just like there's too much. It seems like there's too much time. Kind of you got to wait each week and stuff like that, and the attention spans of people are dropping quite a bit. What do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about dropping it all at once, though?
In terms of sanity within the community, probably all at once, I feel like. But I feel like a mystery type show wouldn't benefit from that because it needs the time for people to make their speculations and stuff. And if you haven't dropped all at once, I feel like that
ruins that magic.
Yeah, the magic and the payoff of a mystery type series.
Yeah,
I don't think it would work.
That's where Andor really hit home for me, because they had cliffhangers that felt like you could take a break and theorize over this, whereas something like Kenobi divided up a lot of the fan base because they were dropped a week apart and people were raging online in between episodes, right? They should have said they were saying there should have been a movie, all this, because we only had 6 episodes of that, right? So
I don't like when they drop complete series. I'm old school. I need to see it week by week.
Interesting. Okay.
Let me think about it before I see the next thing. Jeez.
Fair enough. Charlie, what about you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do want to hear about, because I think JT was the only one that kind of shared his thoughts on the Force creation. I'd like to hear Charlie, Nick, Percy. What do you guys think on it?
I mean, before I go into what I think about it, so from my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the prophecy was of the chosen one was like a very like well-known thing within the Jedi. Like everyone knew about it, right?
Yeah,
I suppose. Okay, so it was funny to me watching when the Jedi like enter the Coven, and they realize that like and Mother Anastasia says like there was no father. The look on their face was like, oh my God, why the prophecy only said one of them? Why are there two of them? So I wonder what was going through like their heads in that moment, because they don't know who Anakin is yet. So they're probably thinking like this might be the prophecy, but why are there two of them? You know?
Yeah, and even and to piggyback off that briefly is in the Phantom Menace with Mace Windu saying, "And you're referring to the prophecy of the one who's supposed to bring balance to the Force." He says, "You're referring to that prophecy. Do you remember that? Do you remember when we studied that for like a week or something in Jedi school?" Right? It was only briefly mentioned, but carry on. Yes, I agree.
But yeah, in terms of what I actually think about it, I feel like it's very different from like the whole chosen one thing, because and I am not big in not that I'm not big into it, but I just don't know. I have a lot of knowledge behind it. I read Plagueis once a long time ago, and I don't even know if that's technically.
You're a Mando boy, man. You're not into this hokey religion and ancient weapons.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're not into that.
But like Anakin, he was created like by the Force as a reaction to what Palpatine and Plagueis were doing in their little dungeon. And from what we know so far, what I believe,
you say dungeon.
From what I believe, the twins were like conceived by like some sort of like magic alchemy type stuff by a Force user rather than the Force itself.
I just think it gets tricky too, because like they're witches, but they're witches that can use the Force, because they don't really use any magic, because like as far as we've seen, given even with like the Night Sisters of Dathomir, like all their magic stuff's green. Like every time they do something, it's green.
Yeah.
Whereas like the witches seem to be using more of like the Force, because you don't see the Force.
But I
they
think
have a white wispy. They pull the threads.
Yeah, I guess
they have like a white wispy Force.
Yeah.
I think the Witches of Dathomir, though, they use straight magic, but their magic leans more towards the dark side of the Force when it comes.
But I think they were alluding to the Coven being dark side, because she said they were in exile because some considered their powers to be dark
and unnatural.
Unnatural.
Salem all over again.
I just think it's
the mystery. Sorry, and Nick, we'll get to you next because I cut you off. The mystery of the Acolyte is the what's going on. Like all these Jedi are dying, and that's kind of the mystery. They know that May's kind of the center of it, but they don't know what else is going on. And with what, and also for us, the mystery is what happened that night of the whole Coven blowing up and stuff like that, because we only got one perspective, probably from May's point of view, you know. So we don't have like what happened outside, or which I'll talk about here a little bit too, because I actually have a theory about that. But that I would say that's the mystery, is like what happened that night, and then who's killing all these Jedi, and like is the dark side involved or anything like that? Because for the most part, I feel like the only people who can kill Jedi, I mean Mandalorians of course can too, but most people who kill Jedi are dark side. I feel like, right? I mean, like, or have some sort of dark side entity. So
I want to know what happened so long ago with those 4 Jedi that May was like, drink this poison, and Torben was down with it.
Yeah, same.
Like, that's definitely what we missed in the episode.
And Nick, you were gonna say something right before I
was just to wrap up my thought. I was gonna say, I know Strike in your watch party mentioned that he feels that this is something that might not be like answered in a series like this. But my thought was like it's the main part of this story, so something like that I feel like has to be answered.
I hope so, man. I hope so, because I think it's gonna leave a bad taste
crossing
in
your
my
fingers,
mouth.
but
Yeah, it's gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth if it's not. If that's the only time it's mentioned and they just kind of move on from it.
yeah,
like,
there's no way it can't be like not
yeah.
resolved.
Well,
but,
because
like,
it's
more
huge. It
detailed.
has the potential to be lore breaking.
Well,
You
the
know, if they don't
PR,
explain it.
the PR is weird because it's advertised as a show that's in the perspective of the bad guys. That's what
Yeah.
Leslie Headland's,
Mhm.
advertising it as. And we see one of the teaser trailers where I think it's Torben's getting his face scratched by Kalnaka or something. There's definitely
he's, like,
another flashback.
jumping.
Yeah, we're definitely getting another flashback,
For
but
sure.
it's just where they decided to end on this episode.
There's
And-
8 episodes. We could get a whole another episode of flashback, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think we will. Or we'll get like maybe not a whole episode, but we'll get like snippets or clips from it.
Well, each episode so far. Sorry I just wanted to keep this
No, go
going
ahead.
real quick.
ahead.
Like
I'm gonna
each
pop this back
episode
off.
so far has had 2 names: Lost and Found, Revenge and Justice. But this one only had 1 name, Destiny. So I wonder if next week or another episode will be the like the antonym of Destiny, whether that's like choice or decision or something.
Yeah.
And we'll see it from someone else's point of view.
Well, even Mother Aseo was saying that like you have choices, like it's not sealed in fate, because I think that's where because they were saying like it's gonna play with some of George's ideas, and George is like it was always Anakin's destiny to bring balance to the Force, whereas like I think in the show they're kind of playing more with like the choices you make end up where you're going. You're not just sealed at fate, like you're not just destined to be this or destined to be that. I think that's my guess, I guess. But real quick, I'm gonna glaze over this. Look, man, if you want to boycott Disney Star Wars, the movies, the books, you are completely entitled to do that. Man, if you got to step away from Star Wars because it's not your vibe anymore, do it. Because boycotting, I mean, in certain scenarios definitely works, but like I would rather you do this and boycott it than go on somebody's channel or Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, whatever, and start spewing hatred. It's like I said, it's okay to disagree with stuff. And we're going to say this a million times, I feel like, in this chat. It's okay to disagree with people, but you don't have to be a dick about it. You know, so if that's what you have to do, or that's what you feel like you need is the right thing, go for it. You're completely in the right to do that. Just like we're completely in the right to keep watching Acolyte or keep reading the books or keep playing the video games and give our opinion on it. It's everything is balanced, dude. So it's like we were talking about yin and yang and stuff like that. Some people love stuff, some people hate stuff. Just don't be a dick about it. Don't make somebody else's day feel bad just because there's no repercussions on the internet. And I'm not attacking you at all, or if that's how it's coming off. Because like I said, you're entitled to your opinion, but just let Qui-Gons be bygones, man. Let Qui-Gons be bygones. That's all I got to say, you know.
I understand where, Amir Ben's coming from, but I also I humbly disagree, because we've also gotten some really cool stuff that I enjoyed during the Disney era of Star Wars.
Clone Wars, Rogue One, Tales of the Jedi.
Dude, if you asked me way back in the day when I was a kid, seeing Revenge of the Sith, and someone asks you, growing up watching the Clone Wars, mind you, if someone asks you, what is the one thing you want to see put in live action, comic books, shows, all this stuff, my first answer is live action Clone Wars, and we got that in Ahsoka episode 5, and that made me cry like a little baby.
We all did, man. We all did.
And Star Wars means a lot to certain people, so I wouldn't, like what you said, Max, don't put someone down for something that they like, because it's
I saw that, Stanley's.
It's a lot of people's escape.
Yeah, and I'm saying this too because I've been down this road before. I'm sure some of us have too, with the prequel trilogy, just being like, nah, you're wrong. Anakin, like, his turn was too quick. Hayden Christensen's acting was bad. Like, George doesn't know what he's doing. The sequels are garbage. Like, we've kind of been down this road before, and it's just I'm trying to, now that I'm a little bit older and do kind of have somewhat of a voice, even if it is a smaller voice, on YouTube, just be like, look, man, just love what you want to love, hate what you want to hate, but just don't let that affect it and bleed over into somebody who's enjoying it and crap in their, or not crap, what is it? Piss in the Cheerios? Is that the saying?
I've never heard that one.
That might be
Yeah.
it.
That's one.
Don't piss in somebody's.
If you want to.
Yeah,
You-
there we go.
if-
Don't piss in somebody's Cheerios, man. Don't piss in somebody's Cheerios.
Yeah. If you
Will
like,
you ask?
Unless that's your thing, and then go for it.
If you ask nicely.
If you ask me.
if you like
Right.
if you like Pepsi, cool. If you like Dr Pepper,
No,
cool.
okay, hold on. No. We do not. If you're Pepsi, unsubscribe to me and leave. We do
Damn.
not accept Pepsi people here. That's where I draw the line. If you
I
like
gotta
Pepsi,
go.
get the hell out. Hold on, wait. If you don't like if you like Pepsi, get the hell out of here. Scram, skabobble, skeet. This is a Coca-Cola product only. And if you like Dr. Pepper, you're okay.
If you like Big Red, then
Yeah,
can't remember
don't
the thing,
finish
Talladega
that.
Night.
Don't
That's what I
finish
thought
that.
of as soon as you did that.
don't finish. Okay, but let's get back on track. We're
Yes.
talking about the Acolyte. Come on.
I like that.
Word.
And if you like Dr. Pepper, you're okay.
Thank you.
So much Pepsi hate. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I
Pepsi.
could see Pepsi and Coke from both sides. Okay, guys.
No.
Max will die on this hill.
I will dude. I'm going to be Master Chief fighting the whole covenant
No,
on top of
Acolyte.
this freaking hill. But yeah,
Acolyte,
okay.
yes,
Thank
the
you.
show.
I'm getting. You guys are firing me up about Pepsi, man. God. Okay. Who do we land on? Who hasn't said their thoughts on forced conception of the twins, and who wants to go? Percy, you raised your hand first. Go for it, man.
man.
Oh, did you not go yet, Charlie?
No, I'll wait.
Okay, I'll go first.
It's
I'm not
inverted.
really worried about it messing with the Chosen One prophecy because I think there's just way too much we don't know yet. And there's like a big Frankenstein thing going on with these kids. I think that they were created using more of a technology than a whatchamacallit here. I'll show you this picture of.
I'll pull you up.
Transylvania.
So here's Mother Coral looking at the machine. It obviously powers their whole city, but also doesn't that look a lot like Frankenstein's kind of like electricity thing? And then there's this giant shaft.
Well, you know what, dude? You bring up a good point
And I
because
think
at
Mother Coral here. Sorry, I just wanted.
No,
to
go
finish.
ahead.
I think this scene here is before all the shit pops off, and I think she planted explosives like an inside job along here. And this is what created the children, and she's getting rid of it so that the Jedi can't find out.
Oh, that could be why she's so protective over them as well.
Well, dude, this is leading into my theory. So
Exactly.
continue. Go ahead. Because I want to share my theory with you guys too.
I didn't think about
And
that.
so she's obviously the more aggressive one. We see that she's the actual leader of the coven, so she's got more pull, really, even though Mother Anastasia is like the spiritual leader. And I think the mothers fight each other to the death while all the crap's popping off, and Mother Anastasia controls Torben and possibly someone else. And that's how all the other witches died. But the reason that Mother Anastasia is dead is I think Coral has quite the quarrel about their kid.
Quarrel.
And that's all I'll say about the
That's all
prophecy crap.
Oh,
Because
wow.
it's not really, I don't think it's going to affect, I don't know. I think it would be cool, like Frankenstein, if there was like a downside to these twins. Like I've noticed that it seems like only one of them seems to have the Force at the time, and maybe they got to share the Force, or maybe they have like a shorter lifespan. I don't know. That's just, I think there should be like a downside if they're created in this way.
I find the duality of the twins interesting because it's kind of like in the Old Republic cinematics, the
SWTOR.
Arcan, the twin with the white robes, he ends up killing his brother in the black robes in pursuit of dark power. So,
Well, that I Charlie or Nick, you already gave your opinion on the Force sensitives, right? Charlie,
Yes.
we're gonna get to you. I just want to, because this ties into the theory that I had. I want to talk about this. That's why I actually cut Percy off while he was talking about it, because I got really
Go
excited.
ahead.
So I also agree with. I think there's more to Mother Coral than meets the eye, because I went back and watched the episode. She's not among the dead bodies. I like froze on that thing. She's not in the group, and she's
I
not
did see
by,
that during the second watch.
she's not
there.
by Anastasia either. I'm like, dude, she could possibly be that. I mean, maybe not, because like the helmet thing would.
I hope not.
But she could be that fifth dude. I don't think
I just
so.
don't want that person to be one of the moms.
Yeah, well, I don't. Now that I'm thinking about it too, I don't think it is, because
It's
like,
gonna be too obvious, I think.
how does the horns fit in the helmet too? Like that's a whole other spiel.
Never trust an Iridonian Zabrak, man.
But no, that could totally be the thing, because we saw how easy they took what's the guy's name? Is it Torben?
Yep.
They how quickly he became under their spell, like instantly, like not even
Custom, yeah.
you know. So it could be something like maybe they do something like that with like the Jedi, and like they turn them against each other, or you know, whatever it is. But yeah, I do think, because if you look up, or not look up, but if you're that image that you showed of the Frankenstein thing, the very top of that is where they're doing the ascension. The circle is like the down below. That's where all that stuff is. So they're doing the ascension there, you know. So I think
down below.
I think the power 1, the power 2, when they're doing all that stuff and they're pushing down and then they're going up, you know, I think that's here. Let me go back to your.
That's a pleasant image.
Yeah. So I noticed that only this guy or girl, sorry, is covered with debris. Everyone else is out of the debris.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, laying pretty comfortably looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like an explosion, and they all are dead at the same time.
Yeah, we hear them scream. So
yeah, there's like a big
Sarah.
bright
something
light.
definitely happened big. And it's I didn't take a picture of it, but it's in the next room where you see the dead mother Anastasia, and I think that we're gonna see a sick fight between her using the Force and Coral using. I think it's an electro staff I think it'll be electrified, but
That'd be cool.
that's a theory.
I was using a cane like that. I would not put it past any camouflage like that. Like, surprise.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
I'm gonna bring in Sarah too. She popped in. She has some words to say.
Oh boy.
Awesome.
Hi everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Oh man, I was just getting so ticked off at the haters in the comments. I'm like, man, this is the exact reason why I have been hesitant to come on to these podcasts, because I started getting really, really nasty comments under my Acolyte trailer reaction, which was months ago. And because Acolyte's so popular right now and hating on channels is so popular right now, it's just very frustrating at this point with the fandom, because it's just making this show have a bad taste, because we can't say anything positive or negative, because people just
you lose either way.
You lose either way. And I just want to say to any content creator or anyone out there, you like this show, good on you. I'm not going to judge you for it. You don't like this show, it's okay. It's your opinion. You're totally entitled to it. But don't drag someone down and call them names and start labeling them as certain things because you just don't like it and you just want everyone to agree with you, and no one agrees with you. You're just going to go off on them. That's just not how this fandom works. We are a community of positive people who welcome a lot of things. Sure, we all have our disagreements, and there's things in Star Wars we don't like. I have my opinions. There's things in Star Wars that I don't really like that they've done, but I just move on and keep going and enjoy what we do get, because that's what Star Wars is all about. Like JT and everyone has said earlier, everyone has their own like perfect picture of what Star Wars is about. And, you know, we all have our own canon, our own versions, our own spinoffs, whatever you want to call it. But please just calm down, guys. Like, seriously, like, take a chill pill and leave us alone.
It just comes from passion, man, and it sucks because everybody's so passionate about Star Wars. You just can't let that. I mean, what does Yoda say? You know, you can't let your passions, like, you know. I'm blanking on the quote right now.
He says, "Let go of everything you fear to lose."
Yeah, and it's just like anger leads to hate. You know, all. It just, you can't let it consume you. I don't know. You guys in the chat are talking about something about Darth Maul's grandma. I don't get it. I don't know. Is there like some character that's supposed to be Darth Maul's grandma?
He's talking about Coral.
Yeah.
Oh, Coral's Darth Maul's. Well, Darth Maul is a different type of Zabrak than. She's a Iridonian, so she's not the same species.
Which is something I never understood. Why are Iridonians like human flesh tone with some like discoloration, and then just Dathomir is like hot colors, red, yellow, orange, and
their planet's red.
There you go. There's the canon answer. Percy just answered it. Everybody.
I was gonna do a little funny thing, but that makes so much more sense. I was gonna say it was from that movie, Little Nicky. Where's your accent from? The deep south.
The deep.
That makes more sense in mine. Carry on. I'm an idiot.
You know, and like I said, this is because Bob Peronautic. I don't know how exactly you said that. I think your opinion is totally valid. If you think this show sucks, and you're a Star Wars fan, I know you said you liked. I'm looking at your comment down below, and you said Andor's amazing. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not saying you specifically, but just to the endless void of Star Wars toxicity out there. If you just think the show sucks, just be like, hey, the show sucks, and just don't talk about it, or just talk about the things you don't like. You know, like that's okay too. As long as you're just not bringing it on to other people. And I think that's like the main topic of like this whole thing I put in the thumbnail is Star Wars dead, kind of as a joke. Because that's everything I see on YouTube, but it's like, just be respectful. That's all. That's all we're asking for. And like I said, I'm not saying, because I don't really think you've said you've been kind of jokey and stuff like that in the chat. I don't really think you've said anything super hateful. But it's just to the people who are trolls and hateful out there. Just like I said, just be respectful. You can agree to disagree without being an asshole. You know, so.
Yeah, dude, I agree with you. Andor was awesome. I have a lot of people and friends with that.
And there's a lot of people who hate Andor too.
Yeah, a lot of people hate it, and I'm friends with a few people that really like. My buddy Nick, who lives in London, man.
I don't think anybody likes it more.
Nobody's a bigger Andor fan than
he's like the Sarah equivalent of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. I don't think I've met anybody who's a bigger fan of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor than Sarah, and Nick is like the Andor equivalent to that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nick. I know you're probably not watching.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. He's awesome. Props. Good man.
Yeah, I mean this show from the 3 episodes that we got, there are things that I liked and things that I didn't. Slowly going down the path of not kind of liking it, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna watch it at least once and give it a try. So,
bro, hold on 1 second. One
Max,
second.
take a deep breath.
1 second.
Deep breath, Max. It's okay.
I'm sitting on Mountain Dew Hill.
You guys are about to give me freaking unlimited power right here. I'm about to freaking zap every one of you Pepsi lovers in the chat.
And by the way, if you like that lightning, you can go to his store where he has such items. You can have such items like a lightning bolt, some good old prints right there. Just throwing it out there.
This is what you're gonna get, though. If you like Pepsi, I don't accept that. I'm tolerable of everything. I'm an open-minded individual, except when it comes to Pepsi. You can get the Zap. You get the unlimited power 9000 on your ass. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to. We've been derailing. We've been having fun and talking. This has actually been a pretty good stream. I've liked everybody that's popped in here so far. Everybody's been pretty fun, pretty chill. But Sarah, I'll get your opinion too here in a second. But Charlie was next. Charlie, what do you think? Because I know you how much you care about Anakin and him being the chosen one and preserving George's legacy. So I am interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Remind me of the whole thing again, because we went from sodas to everything really fast, and I was like, okay, man.
What do you think about Mother Anastasia creating the children through the thread or the Force? Yeah. What's your opinion on that? How do you feel?
It does not bother me at all, because if I'm in Son of Dathomir, it's kind of, well, it is revealed. I love like different interpretations of, man, if someone hasn't read or even heard of the Bane thing, I'm about to spoil the crap out of this, and I'm sorry for it, but just please,
spoilers.
You should have read or known about it. there are different prophecies. You got the Chosen One prophecy, which is Anakin. You got the Sithari, Darth Bane. And you got probably
the one Sith, Spirit Crate.
You got that guy who comes down late in the timeline. Also, great skin. He's got great skin. I don't know how it has to do with anything. It's great skin. Anyways, he uses vitamins. No, man, it's cool. I like seeing if it's again something. I love the way that person said it, of just like, yes, they carried them, but they created them, like with the French toast, and everything like that. Of like, did you use a little magic voodoo, or did you do a full Frankenstein? I feel like I should say that, like some horse in the background, just a line in the background. That's a deep reference.
Bro, it's the frozen pops, bro. That's how it happened.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I love stuff like that. There's no way that it in any way coincides with the Chosen One thing. So everybody's got their own little brand of stuff. I mean, Mother Talzin practically, she sacrificed her corporeal form to bring Maul back. Spoilers for Son of Dathomir.
Yeah. Great comic. Great comic.
Yeah, really wish they would tackle that maybe someday. Hopefully, knock on wood. Again, the Sithari thing happened. You even had like the ancient Sith and stuff like that backwards. They would, the great Margaret Ragnos, or so many you can go through. So seeing this little interpretation of, you're like, oh, this little offshoot of, maybe not even Night Sisters, maybe just the Deep South version of them. They're just doing some stuff like that. You're just like, okay, cool. Let's see what your version is and everything like that. Let's see what your interpretation is. Okay, cool. We'll see what comes of it. If it has any massive repercussions, I guess we'll find out. So that's my answer to that. Good sir.
Okay.
Can I say one last thing on the?
No, unacceptable. It's already past the time. You had your chance to speak.
I'm out.
No.
Don't worry.
No, go for it, man. What you got to say?
I just wanted to say that I read or heard on someone else's video. I think it might have been Generation Tech, but he said when a woman takes an embryo and has a surrogate or someone else bring that child to fruition for them, there is a even higher likelihood of them being twins. And I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I had no idea.
Bringing some real world knowledge into the chat.
we also know that in the Clone Wars, when Asajj was sent to hunt down the top of the line alpha Dathomirian Zabrak, and it ended up being Savage, and he was still a skinny dude, right? He was still skinny, and Mother Talzin beefed him up.
Got him some death sticks.
So yeah, there's definitely some sort of creation aspect through enhanced magic on that side of things. I think it just comes down to we don't know enough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just don't mess. Clancy Brown is a great guy.
Sarah, did you want to weigh in on the force sensitivity? I know you kind of popped in here last second, but
I mean, I think everyone pretty much nailed the head on what you guys kind of discussed already. But even as I was watching the episode, like, because I was like, already when I watched this episode, I knew it was going to be, I guess, on the more controversial side, because I could just already hear the fans spewing so much from certain things. Like, but then I was like, I'm just going to tune that out. And as I was watching it, what caught my eye was when she was like, you can pull the thread anytime you want. Basically, your destiny is not written in stone. You can make it your own and choose your own. So that, to me, I feel like it's going to be like the whole like premise of Osha's path, because May is obviously on the more darker side, and I can't believe she was like, I'm going to kill you. I thought, okay, she's just angry right now, but she's like, no, I'm straight up going to kill you, and legit burns everything down. I'm like, whoa, this went from 0 to 100 real fast. But I know it's a real tricky thing when it comes to the Force and how the Force works and how it's portrayed in certain shows. I mean, I know we discussed this in Ahsoka a couple months back too, but that was just like a minor nitpick. And I know with this, it's like, if this is the canon of it, then that changes everything. But I feel like for me, it's just going to be like, hey, there's certain ways the Force works on other planets, and it works with the Jedi differently. It works with these sisters differently. I just wish we got a little more clarification on, I guess, more background on these sisters, because
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're not the Night Sisters because that's like more further up ahead in the timeline. But for these guys, it was just a little confusing with how some of it worked. But at the same time, I liked that they kept a little mystique to it. Maybe they'll touch on it again in the future. Maybe they won't. But that being said, it's one of those things where we just have to see and wait
Yeah.
how the
Not
show
enough info.
there's not enough context to really be given, and I feel like that's what this episode kind of is. We got a little information fed to us, but not enough to kind of theorize and be like, okay, this is on the fine print, like this is on that episode now, like now it's stamped, because now we don't know what's going to happen down the line. So just until we see more episodes, I'm just going to hold off a little on that. But like I said, it's just, I think it's more of the thread thing, because she kept bringing that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just, before I go on a tangent, I'll just leave it at
No,
that.
you're fine, man. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. He said, if the Wishers are using the dark side of the Force thread, do you feel bad that they've died? No, because I don't have any connection to them right now. Now I know that in the show, like the Jedi are kind of supposed to be bad, and like the witches are supposed to be kind of painted in like a, hey, we're just trying to live our life and do our thing. I just don't think I've cared enough about them right now and that they've died because we haven't seen the full picture. Maybe I'll care more once we see, because like I said, we've only seen really like Osha's perspective, and from Osha's perspective, she was trapped in a room with fire and doesn't know what happened with any of the stuff. Everybody's just dead when she gets on the scene.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe I'll feel bad, maybe I won't. Like I said, that's kind of like my whole point with this whole thing, and kind of I think our whole point is like, it's just too early to tell. Like I feel like everybody's taking everything at face value and realizing that there's different perspectives and point of view. Like even in Star Wars, it's said hundreds of times from certain points of view. Everybody views the galaxy and the Force and how everything works differently because there's so many different religions, species, ideologies, so I guess that to answer that question, I don't know. I don't feel bad because I just don't have any.
I think it's safe to say that the Dathomirian witches lean more towards the dark side of the Force because they practice spells such as like
Necromancy and stuff.
Body enhancing, and like literally resurrecting undead Night Sisters as like those anorexic looking sprinting zombies.
Horrifying.
If the light side of the Force is supposed to represent life, I don't imagine that they would be giving into something that represents living death, or even like those stormtroopers in Ahsoka that were literally resurrected there on the spot and turned into zombies. I just don't see that as a light side move.
Yeah.
But you can't really answer what these new witches are. There's not, like we said, there's not enough.
You said Turbin clearly did. Yeah, and that's the thing is like we don't know why he feels that way, and we'll see that hopefully. I mean, if we don't see that, then like what the hell? Like what are you doing? We're just like the Jedi are like, it just seems like if they don't show us and tell us all this stuff, then it's just like you just made a show crapping on the Jedi and not really giving any clear
watch all the episodes once and then let your opinion juices cycle out what you think of the Acolyte.
Second that.
And I love the name Broly. Worst Star Wars series ever. George Lucas needs to take Star Wars back. Wow, that would be amazing, and I would love that. He sold it. The George Lucas era of Star Wars, whether you love it, you hate it, it's gone. Not coming back. It's never coming back. It's unfortunate, but he chose to make that decision and sell it to Disney. Whether it being the worst series ever, again, I think that's suggestive because as of right now, for me personally, I would say Boba Fett's the worst one. And then that's my personal thing, everybody has their own taste, but But yeah, man, I just everybody has their own taste and style, but
It's hard to make a comment like that because we have 5 episodes left. So it's like
Yeah.
how can you decide that it's the worst series if it's less than half over?
The series isn't even out yet.
and
Yeah.
this is the thing, and I'm not saying, because he's obviously just giving us a snippet. He might have like
For sure,
a whole
yeah,
bunch
I
of things that
Yeah.
the reason why he doesn't like it. But
For
there
sure.
is people, I'm not saying Broly you're like that, but there is people out there like that just they cling to like the heavy hitter YouTubers who just be like, Star Wars is dead, Star Wars is over, and they don't literally. Some people have it just go and comment stuff like that. Like, again, like, I'm not calling Broly out, I'm not calling you out, man. But people go and comment and they haven't even seen the series. They just go on. It's like, do people like watching Star Wars, or do they like listening to Star Wars content on YouTube and then just regurgitating what they've heard? And I think that's a real thing, and like something that I feel like a lot of people don't bring up is like, do you like watching Star Wars YouTube, or do you actually like watching Star Wars? And like I said,
Dude, the amount of people that have talked about Star Wars comics or books and have not picked up a single one is crazy. If you want to do some deep diving online and look at the crap that people spew that they wholeheartedly believe is the canon, dude, and I'm taking this from a sweaty, right? I don't know everything about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I have tons of I think I am only missing a few of the Dark Horse series when it comes to the comic
dude,
books.
you have the biggest Star Wars comic book collection I think I've ever seen.
I don't have it all memorized in the slightest, not at all. I can't judge it all based on that.
And again, if you are watching Broly, if you are watching the show and you truly do believe that it's the worst series ever, that's okay too, man. Like, all Star Wars, like, it sucks. Like, again, like I feel like I'm just kind of beating a dead horse and being a broken record, but like, as much as it sucks to not like everything Star Wars, I think it is great that we have enough content that like everybody can kind of have their piece of the pie. If Acolyte's not vibing with you, man, screw it. Don't watch it. Don't buy any of the merch. Don't talk about it. Don't pop in. Don't just go watch Return of the Jedi, or go watch Empire, or go watch Revenge of the go focus on the stuff you love, because focusing on Acolyte and being like, this is garbage, man, it just like, it doesn't do you any good. You just sit there and
hurts yourself, really. Like,
there's no need to hold on to a very hot pebble and keep yelling Kakarot. You can actually learn a different name.
There you go, man. There you go.
They can never take away the stuff that came out that you do like.
That's a perfect way to end that comment, Charlie. Is
I love how you
Dragon Ball. I kind of want to talk a little bit about one scene and then kind of branch it into like another topic. How did you guys feel about Soul? I like Soul. Soul's probably my favorite character so far.
Agreed, yeah.
Definitely very Qui-Gon-esque. We've heard the actor say he loves Star Wars and he really gravitated to Qui-Gon and wanted to bring that. You can really, and I think honestly, and this is no hate to him, I think him not knowing English kind of gives him more of like a mystery, like wisdom sort of thing, because of how he pronounces his words. He's a little slower.
He really enunciates, yeah,
and it really enunciates.
He speaks with meaning, and I think
that's
he's doing a lot better than some of the English-born speak.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I think him not being English, like being his first language, I think that's kind of helping his.
Compare him to Jackie Chan. Think about Jackie Chan's voice when he first started making movies. Like,
oh yeah,
a bit of more of a learning curve. I think Soul has really nailed it.
Well, they didn't even use his voice in some of his like original stuff, like when that came over to America. It was, I just mean like
the one. What's that one where they're cops and
Rush Hour?
Oh yeah, Rush Hour. He had it's like in that one he was learning it phonetically, like Soul is.
But sorry, I didn't mean that to be a crushing on Soul tangent, because that's but I'm glad we're all vibing on him.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of him handing the lightsaber to Osha. It's like, hey kid, here's a loaded M16. Go crazy. I'm like, bro, this is like one of the deadliest weapons on like the face of like the whole entire galaxy. You're just gonna hand it to
the Jedi aren't perfect. I mean, to get their lightsaber crystal, they send them to this ice planet that they could freeze to death on.
Okay, but that's cool as hell. That's like a trial. That's
but only if it's different. Cool.
Yeah, only if it's cool, man. But that's not really my main point anyway. Maybe this is and this will, I guess, be in more of the negative side of things. bro, I think that we talked about this a little bit at the watch party. I think they're messing up on the lightsabers, bro. Because
Agreed.
you're looking at these lightsabers and they just don't have the pizzazz of either the prequels or the original trilogy, or even some of the stuff we've seen in, like, I've seen some of the High Republic sabers and stuff like that. Even I would even argue that. And we'll get up to their outfits too, because I don't think their outfits are. They took a book out of Dwight Schrute's mustard jackets from The Office, and I was like, it needs to be a little bit more golden.
See,
but look,
the outfits didn't really take me out of it that much, but I do agree with you with the lightsabers.
So we got the sabers here. I know they're kind of harder to see. I'm gonna pull up. This one is honestly the coolest one out of the bunch, I think. But I don't know. They're just kind of, I don't know. They're just kind of plain. Like, look at this, or look at go back to the
Indara.
Go back to like these, and then look at these and tell me which one you'd rather have. Which one you'd rather buy, or which one you'd rather have if you were in universe. I don't know. There's something about these that just have so much more character and design than a lot of these. But I want to get your guys' opinion on it too, because like I'm obviously my voice isn't the only one. How are you feeling on the lightsabers?
Well, from the picture that you brought up with the prequel looking sabers, they all have something that ties that specific looking group of lightsabers into its era. So the prequels is a lot of silver colors, a lot of black accents with grips and stuff like that.
Hints of gold.
Yeah, flared edges, very minimalist flares of gold in there too. Like you'll seldom see different colors besides the machined metal look with you get the off one with like a little bit of a box or a couple greeblies they threw on there.
Sure.
Yeah, and I don't know I'm just ignorant of it. I haven't dove into it at all, but I don't really know the High Republic era. I only know what I've been spoon fed from just playing like Jedi Survivor, and you see the gold trimmed temples and like this fancy like thin line work, and everything has an elegance to it.
Is there as many Jedi in the High Republic as there is in the prequels?
Nope.
That's a good question.
I'm not sure.
I've wondered.
It's just not a topic I've dove into, so I don't have.
I don't know much about that, but I do know from what I've seen with like Santari Kree and Dagan Gera's lightsabers is they look way more High Republic than this show's lightsabers look High Republic. So,
or here, let me pull up. I can pull up Dagan's lightsaber right now because his lightsaber looks really cool.
His lightsaber was so dope.
Yeah, Sarah's like, hell yeah, it does.
Do we know how old?
I wonder why the top part of it looks like a certain person. Jedi.
Was Dagan like 200 years frozen?
Yeah, he was
he's definitely High Republic era. And see, Max, this is why I don't really care about the mustard tabard clothes, because seeing Dagan, it kind of ties into.
Yeah, but they also have like the gold accents that I feel like, and like they just have like, it's like literally they have the same clothes as like the prequel Jedi, except it's just mustard yellow. At least this has some like gold accents and.
I get that.
That look, even like some of the, like this, like they don't have any of the like the decor, and maybe that's just the High Republic.
Like a RuneScape guy.
Yeah, he's got his quest cape on, but even something like this, like I know he's kind of more in the High Republic style era, whereas like this isn't really the High Republic. It's just a 70 to 100 years before the fall of the Empire, so maybe they're kind of transitioning, so they're trying to find something in the middle. But I don't know, that's just a personal thing with the mustard yellow stuff. Mostly it's the sabers that I'm just like, I don't know, they're not, for me personally, they're not, these look like background character lightsabers. This is something you'd give like Kiadi Mundi or like freaking.
But even Kiadi though, they even had like little greeblies to like tell them apart and different pommels and stuff. These are very like straight sheath, like no different textures. There's like a couple engraved rings going around them, but like nothing much.
And if you want another view of our lightsabers, go find a video that we did on reviewing lightsabers.
Dude, Charlie with the plugs. He's the plug master right now, man.
We went to a lot of love in that video.
Yeah, the saber ranking it's got a lot of gold in it, so definitely go check that out if you haven't on the channel. You'll see it. It's a little further down. But yeah, no, I mean to Bob's point, like the sabers kind of look like toys compared to the previous ones that we have. To me, they look like something like a generic saber you'd buy off like Amazon or something. I think that's kind of what he's kind of comparing it to, like the cheap like $100 sabers, not like the ones that are a little bit. Oh, I knocked over my lightning, but the cheap $100 sabers compared to like the the NeoPixels and stuff like that, they do kind of have that sort of like blandness sort of vibe, which is always a disappointment because I feel like even with something like Leia Saber in the sequel trilogy, like that saber looks so freaking with the pearl, with the copper, like looks amazing. So I wonder, and I'm not trying to crap on the designer of these lightsabers by any means. It's just like, to me, honestly, this is kind of funny. Oh, wish saber. Got it.
I only really think, because I'm in the same boat. I tried the audio, I tried the physical copies and everything like that for High Republic. I know nothing. I couldn't get into them. I don't know nothing about stuff like. The only thing I got is the Fallen Order franchise and stuff like that. That's literally it. So the only thing I can say about the sabers, thank you, Stanley, you rock, buddy, is maybe they're like darkish, because they've been traveling. I don't know. Wild shot, Derek. I don't know why they wouldn't clean them, but anyway, again, that's just my brain's like, well, it must have been. I don't know.
They do have a little bit of chunkiness to them now that I'm kind of looking at them. I'll bring them back up again. I know we're switching a lot, but they do, like, look at the two sabers in the back. They do kind of like what Stanley's is saying. They do kind of have that chunkiness that the Galaxy's Edge sabers have when they have to fit the blades in. They do kind of have that sort of. Let's see if I can find one of the ones in the back. It doesn't look like it because these are all.
So I don't know how factual this is, but apparently I read somewhere that someone from Lucasfilm or Star Wars has said the reason, and it's kind of strange, but I think I know why, is they had to make them chunkier basically to fit the electronics in. Whereas, like, obviously people who make lightsabers and stuff, they know that you can get away with slimmer designs as people do. But for like Ahsoka and some of the other shows, apparently their battery packs were like up her sleeves and stuff a lot of the times.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if the technology that they're using is probably different from like a consumer type thing. And so for something like this, they probably didn't want to have them tucked up the sleeve. They wanted more like fluidity, maybe. I don't know. That's just what I've read. I don't know how true that is. It is just kind of strange because people do get away with that. Like a lot of people that you can buy sabers from. I don't know. That's just something I heard. So I just wanted to share with the class.
Right on, man.
Yeah, and even with Kenobi too, they wanted to use actual physical LED lightsaber blades for that show. But you can tell the way they digitized over it too. There's some sort of like dullness factor to it. It's not like, and a perfect example is in Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan and Anakin are getting ready to fight Dooku, and you can see them first ignite their lightsabers. It's like piercing, like a white core, blinding, But in this, like the newer iterations of what they're doing, there's kind of like this dullness factor to the core. I don't know what it is.
Who knows what?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to bring that up because it is something I know we like to talk about a lot of the designs and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, even going past that, I wasn't crazy about the Jedi ship design. The speeders looked cool, but it was also kind of like this the Jedi like carrying whatever transport looked kind of clunky too. Like it was weird. It looked like it was like kind of like a mixture between like, the ones that, and bringing up SWOTOR again, that they go into the Jedi temple and like crash into it.
That was a gunship.
But it kind of looked a little bit like that mixed with like a quad jumper in Star Wars. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that kind of ship, but it kind of had a vibe similar to those two. So
I like the hyper. I like the hyper ring aspect to it, where like in Attack of the Clones, you see the Jedi starfighter pull into the actual ring. This is like a detachable ship onto the ship, and then it unplugs itself. It's kind of cool.
Very wizard.
Here, let me get you Solo. Yeah,
I got our lightsabers that we've seen.
Oh,
honestly,
so
that
Tara's
was
I really like. That's Tara's. We got like the best view of it. Here's Sol's. It's got
pass.
It's pretty tame. He's got the
really. I think Sol's is my favorite out of all of them.
I don't know. But
Okay,
Torben, kind of cool too.
Okay, he's got a little bit of handle
Dude,
style. With
I
I like the leather
You have
wrapping
like a
on it.
leather wrap or copper
neat.
wrap style.
It's very
to them.
Coda, Rom Coda-esque.
kind of looks like a
Maybe.
water hose for them.
Even
You know
their-
what?
Even their belts are a little more
You know that
flashy.
he did make another deep cut. He may have took influence from Jamie Lannister from Westeros and put some flavor on that as well. That's probably
Hey,
why.
yeah, there you go. King
He's from
Corbin.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's the king that kills himself because
Still blows my mind. That's him.
his wife dies or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
His mom
that's
kills
too
his
far.
wife. Oh, wait.
What happened?
That's the end of the
Bro.
episode. If you guys missed after the,
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
that, see that when that her reaction right there. That's me looking at all the lightsabers.
Oh my god.
I'm just
Someone
like,
just
I want to
put that
see
into a meme
Kalnaka still.
template.
I'm pretty pumped.
I was
for that.
Yeah.
You
brother,
beat me to it.
ew.
Is he gonna have a wooden one?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I want to see Kalnakas for sure.
I mean,
Just
Kalnaka is
wooden, I'll be
definitely the
pretty happy.
coolest. Like I would say he's the coolest, like conceptually, like the coolest character so far.
Here's Torben with the scars someone mentioned
Oh
earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And also, we don't see Kalnaka, but I just assume he's flying the ship.
Yeah. He's a boss.
Oh yeah.
May's room.
Oh yeah.
It's
We got like a
waste.
Pokemon reference here, like evolutions. or
Kind of reminds me
something.
of Avatar, honestly.
Yeah,
Mm.
maybe some Filoni reference. I don't know. And then yeah, it's just got like a one of those workout things. You could probably buy that at Sport
A
Check.
yoga mat?
Yo,
Yeah.
who's the guy that does the Amazon listings
Oh,
on Instagram? He's like, oh, you can get the Star Wars things off Amazon. Who is that? Because that's him. That's gonna be him. He's like, you can buy.
Oh,
this
for
from
the
Am-"
lore.
Yeah, for the lore. Yeah, he's gonna be like, you can find this like plushy like roller workout thing on Amazon.
Yeah, he's gonna
Get
be
it
making
now."
those.
Buy one get one free.
This scene also kind of reminded me of Anakin like packing up his bag to leave
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
episode 1.
Yeah.
So Mother Anastasia, you ever
Mm.
seen?
She got that claws.
You see how her fingers
fine.
are blackening though?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
didn't
noticed
notice
that in a
that.
few scenes. I think it may only happen close to or after the ascension.
Hmm.
Because
That's
I don't
cool.
think she has
Yeah.
it while she's showing the power of one, power of two.
Interesting.
First time.
Annie.
Oh my
Sorry,
Yeah,
I had to
this
say
is
it
like-
over time.
I got some nice screenshots. I think her look is badass.
Oh, the costume design is great. I think whoever's the designer of this, like minus the mustard yellow, which that's a personal thing, all the costumes look amazing.
Here's
Dude's a
Kalnaka
champion.
actually doing some mechanic stuff. So he's got like
Trying to look busy.
he's got like a table set up. He's got something here and he's grinding it. And then you back
Yeah,
up.
that
We
speeder
got
looks sick.
an actual table of like items they need to work with.
You know what?
Okay,
I wonder
but
right
go-
there.
go
They're
back-
testing the.
Go back to that one where he's standing there and looking at the camera. Okay, but I like all
He's
this,
watching May run away here for
Yeah.
reference.
but I also don't like how this looks like it's in my backyard. Like this just looks like Earth.
Oh, JT, here we go. JT's getting his ick with the planets, the Earth planets.
That's my ick, dude. Too many Earth planets in recent Star Wars shows. I think Bad Batch for season 3 had like 3 of them or something.
I got you.
People here.
I got you
wonder-
covered.
Real quick, I wonder with the test tubes. Yeah, he's got this Avatar man bun going on. I wonder if they're testing the Bunta because the Bunta's poison with the Kim set there. Because like that
Mm.
reminds me of like they're taking samples from for Democracy. If you play Helldivers, you get that
Right.
reference. But they're taking samples to like test the world and stuff like that, which will be interesting to. Or maybe they're just
Yeah,
testing the blood. Who knows?
They actually
That could also
did
be a thing.
reference something about that planet, so that would be pretty cool if that was a thing. Well, it does make you see stuff in a different light when you see a Wookiee wear clothes, though. Honestly.
So here's Coral with her weapon here.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
She brought 3 warriors with her just to bring them to the test. So you know she's pretty mad.
Oh, that's another thing too. I know we mentioned it in the watch party. They should have definitely made the bows not bow and arrows. They should have made it like energy.
Plasma. Yeah.
Like, how hard is it to CGI some like purple glowy on the bows for like the 2-second shot. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe just a little bit, a little
Well,
razzle.
it's like cutting down on work
Be
too,
cool.
because in Andor you also had like bow and arrows, I think too, when they're like, I think they're scouring the
Oh, I
Separatist
guess that's
ship that
true.
crashes.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, true.
Can I comment on this scene right here with Soul? I mean,
Yeah,
just a screenshot
100%.
specifically. So I don't know if anyone noticed, but when he's talking to May and he's like, someone told you to lie about this test, didn't they? And she's like, yeah, because, you know, I want to be a Jedi, you know, and he's basically telling her, follow your heart. And she's like, okay, well, I want to be a Jedi. Flash forward to after all the chaos happens. If you look closely as he's comforting her, on the corner of his eye, I don't know which one, but you can see a tear fall out of his eye. And I was like, whoa, like he really got into this scene. Like he was so intense into the scene that he just started crying on the scene. And I don't even know if he was supposed to, because I think he was trying to like wipe it away at some point. But
he's an amazing actor.
he's
Yeah.
such an amazing actor, and he seriously is carrying this show, and he's probably my favorite character of the show by far.
Well, he's a very popular actor in
Yeah.
Korea as well.
Yeah,
Squid Games
Korean-
was
Squid
insane with
Games.
him, I thought.
Oh yeah, Squid Games
Yeah.
was so good.
He was. I think he's done a couple theater type things as well.
So here's Mary, Carrie.
She also only has
Right.
she also only has the one dot on her eye.
Yeah.
And then when she gets killed, she has 2 dots. I don't know. Maybe that's JT was like, that's a
Mm-hmm.
prison thing. She killed somebody. she got an extra. She got an extra mark.
Finally got a hold of an agent.
I noticed she's not as de-aged as Soul, I think. Just my opinion.
You guys think they de-aged? I think they just gave him shorter haircuts.
He
I-
looks
Yeah, I
way
think-
younger to me. I don't know.
You think
Really?
so?
I think they
I
just
don't
put
know.
makeup on him. I don't think
I
they
didn't
did.
sense
A
any
lot of
like that.
makeup.
Pretty good makeup then, I gotta say.
That and they
But-
just shaved Torben's
So-
beard, so he doesn't.
So
have
then,
the-
in my opinion, he's supposed to be younger than her.
yeah,
So
for sure.
if Torben is her Padawan, then is he Kelnaka's Padawan at this moment in time?
Oh, I don't know.
But like it seems
Yeah.
like he wants to train Osha, but he doesn't say that he'll train her right away. He's like, "We'll go to the temple. You'll be safe there, and if you want to be my Padawan, bing bang bong."
Interesting.
Yeah, there's the when I was doing my second watch through, that little moon
yeah,
slash
the
thing,
moon.
it did its thing. It did
Dude,
change
the
the
double
circle.
moons get me every time. I don't know what it is about fantasy and having double moons.
Dude,
but
I mean,
It's like a
we got-
planet and a moon, I think, because it's
It's
like twins-
got rings
Twin
around it.
suns, Tatooine, and other planets, moons, and stuff. Who'd have thought?
when it's interesting too, because it seems like it's giving them more power,
Yeah,
you know, too. So it's like there's a lot that's unsaid there.
I love the
Everything lines
rings
up.
around it because it just emulates like their version of the Force, like the thread going through both of
Yeah, I
the
was
planets.
just
Yeah.
gonna say
very
that.
nice symbolism.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
It was symbolizing the thread, which is what
Mm-hmm.
I thought when I first saw this for the first time.
Yo,
Power within.
honestly,
power
the-
within.
okay, yeah. Honestly, the chant though, like I get what they were trying to do with it, but I don't know. It really made me think of the
That threw me off.
Ewoks when they, because you have the one chick go yay 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 yay, like dude, the Ewoks do the same
There's
thing,
one person laughing.
and then there's they do like the humming. They're like just like when they see C-3PO and think
I
he's a
believe
god.
they think I'm some sort of god.
Like, bro, I literally thought they were about to start singing Yub Nub. Yub Nub.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun.
Which
No,
is
Dude, I made this reference during the watch party. Is it feels you ever see Hansel and Gretel witch hunters? Right at the
Okay.
end, where all of the witches gather together and it's just a massacre. I was just expecting something to happen because it looks just like that, the same
Yeah.
camera angle and everything.
So these kids are killing it.
Oh yeah, they nailed
yeah,
it.
That's what. Yeah, it's. I can only imagine, man. Like, a lot gets thrown on.
I wrote here that these two kids act better than their adult actress.
I just don't think we've seen enough of them either, though. But you know,
I don't
Yeah.
hate her. I just some of the May stuff, everyone seems to agree, but
yeah, no, for sure.
Come on, Percy, I give you and you give me.
Okay, hold on, real quick. When you're on this,
Yeah,
something's
look at all
definitely
this fire. That's
something's
a lot
got to
of fire.
happen because, bro, they're literally on slabs. Like, sure, there's a little shrubbery, like even in like May and Osha's room, there you can see like in the background they have like a little bit of like bushes and debris and stuff like that. But how the hell does this? And I can suspend
in different
disbelief.
spots.
Well,
Didn't this blow up?
I don't know, and maybe we just didn't see it. But I'm just talking about their room when she throws it on the ground. Like I can suspend disbelief about the fire in space when she's fixing it in the first episode, I believe. Like, hey man, it's Star Wars. There's explosions and sound in space too, which technically doesn't happen. Like I can get over, but this is like it's almost like it's too like the fire wouldn't spread that fast in the room. I'm not talking about all over the place because there could have been bombs. There could have been stuff that we didn't see for the fire spreading all over the mountain. But I'm just talking about for the room itself. It was a little weird to have the fire spread that quickly and like all over the place.
If it spread like that too, it wouldn't be patchy. It wouldn't be like in different areas on the mountain. It would kind of like grow up the mountain or something like that. Like look at the top right there. There's like a little separate fire thing going on.
True.
That's like separated from like the main like area.
This is where it blew up.
It's like the reactor.
This is all downhill. Like
it's
like 1,000 meters away.
All of that from one lantern that's just chilling on the wall all the time. I doubt it.
Look at that. See, all their lights are on, which the Jedi are obviously going to find you guys, but here the lights are all turned off. So I think it was their power source, but it might have also created the twins. I guess it looks a little more blown up. Anyways, I got the whole thing like Charlie was saying with the sky.
Yeah,
that's a cool shot.
Something I noticed second watch around. I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what?"
It's almost more Lords of the Ring-esque. I feel like maybe not the sun, the moons and the suns in the background, but like I feel like the mountain with all that. Ooh, there's a little entry.
This scene. This is where May and Osha are walking in to the mountain, and right after that scene is this.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
Okay.
Geez, say friend and you shall enter.
It eclipses and goes across. I'll show you. Almost eclipsed across, and then when it's on fire, you don't even see it.
Bonfire.
And I'm right at the beginning here.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Only had one more thing to bring up about the beginning was all of these ruins that are strung throughout the whole area here.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
So around the Bunta tree, it looks like a big old Stonehenge ritual site. Ancient though, because it's all torn up. So we got 1, 2 on her left, and 3 on her right.
Interesting. Okay.
So there's 3 of those at least surrounding the Bunta tree, and that's the same one as the first one. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
No, that's cool, man. You definitely. That's why I love talking and doing these roundtables, man. Because like everybody catches something different. Like I would have never. I watched the episode twice and missed those every time. You know,
there's a few other things, but that's mostly it.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Very cool.
Awesome,
I thought the fact that the entire city was female was pretty interesting. How it would make more sense if there was more children. So I think something like seriously bad happened to this coven.
Well, didn't they say they were hunted?
Yeah, they said they were hunted down and stuff for sure.
Well, they
almost went into extinction, is what they said.
Yeah.
Well,
so
they even say it. They even say it. They hunt by bow by day and the bunta by night, or something along the lines of that.
Ditto.
What do you guys think about Soul being there?
I
spying on them before.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more storyline to that.
Yeah, for sure. Not enough info.
What do I think? I think he's edging for a restraining order is what I think. I think he really
Oh my god. Man. Oh my god.
Some Jedi is going to say hello there someday, but I just want to say hi.
Torben aged a lot in 16 years. Bro, Obi-Wan aged a lot in 10 years, so it did, they just gave him a beard, I don't know.
What's
I thought it looked totally different.
Well, did you gave him a beard and gave him? I think his eye was a little bit more like gone, like it was pale. And Bob, man, you've been putting some funky stuff in the chat, dude. You've been putting, in your opinion, in your personal canon, is R2 a lesbian? In my canon, no, he's not a lesbian. But like I said, man, if that's what you need to be, that's what he needs to be for you in Star Wars. Go for it, dude. Just like there's a thread that I don't follow. Luke Skywalker's my favorite character personally in Star Wars. There's a lot of people who think Luke Skywalker's gay. I don't agree with that. But if that's what you need Luke to be, and if that's what speaks to you, then go for it, dude. I'm not trying to say that. I think that, and also too, that interview, I know what interview you're talking about, dude. They're joking around, like they're just
they're laughing, they're having fun,
they're being silly. And who, even if she does, like even if she's 100% for real and thinks R2 is a lesbian, who cares? Does that change the way you think about R2? You know, I know you're saying this because you've posted some silly stuff in the chat. I know you're just kind of being silly and stuff like that, but
I just think it's irrelevant to story.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the dial pad for a Stargate.
He's talking about the runes that Percy was showing us.
Fill me in. What I don't understand the dial pad.
Stargates are like
it's a big
circles that you travel through space with.
Just in sci-fi, not in Star Wars.
Yeah,
in sci-fi
Stargate universe.
Yeah.
Oh,
the movie Stargate, the portal, I believe, is like a big.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it, so that's why I was kind of like.
It's been a long time, but yeah.
And those ruins reminded me of like Barunda, and I'm wondering if the planet's based off of another planet like that or something.
Another one.
It reminds me of how there's like ruins on Naboo. I was just gonna say how the Gungans like secret hiding spot has like that big Stonehenge head like chilling in the ground and everything like that.
See, I disagree with this until Percy zoomed in on his mouth, and I was like, I don't know, maybe there's something there. You know, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something to it.
I found a cool parallel with the writing itself though is if you go back and watch the first episode, Soul is sitting in that like meditation room with all the younglings, and he's like, so what do you see when you close your eyes? One of them says, I see fire, and he's like, Nani?
Oh, you got
we can, and it's like reference to, and even when Osha has that like weird like force flashback thing where she becomes her younger self and sees her sister, and there's like the forest burning behind her. That's also the same forest you see her in this third episode here.
Well, fire's a big one too, man, because like she's looking at when she's trying to fix the ship, like the fire's in her eyes, she's staring at it. And this one, her sister's trying to kill her and staring into the fire. Like what you were saying in the first episode, they were mentioning seeing fire and chaos is like a big kind of theme in this show. So you're definitely onto something there with that. I think this is kind of like, for me personally, unless you guys have a lot of stuff, this is the last thing that I have. How do you feel about Osha and May at the very end, where she's just like, oh, you're leaving, I'm gonna kill you? Because like, I don't know, I was like, she went from 0 to 60 real quick. I was like that meme of not Ron Perlman, who's Ron who's the anchor man? I'm blanking on his name.
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy, there we go. Yeah. He's like, well, that escalated quickly. That was literally me when she said, she was just like, we're supposed to be best friends forever, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, what? One episode, bro, what the heck?
It's
how do you guys feel about that?
Sibling rivalry and being that young, you say some pretty silly things, but then again, Star Wars universe, you say one thing, and next thing you know, maybe someone's offering you something. You're like, okay, maybe I'll take that power with, I don't know what's the thing with your lightsaber. You never know, man. You never know. It's like, so also you took that many of those. What was it? Ice cream things,
Spice pops.
Spice pop. Okay, so you took that many. You actually stole those? No, you're gonna die now for real. I'm actually gonna kill you.
She was freaking bouncing off spice.
Bro, somebody, I don't know who in the chat or whoever's watching later on, I will pay money for the guy with the want to buy some death sticks. Put him on it, put the spice pop on it, and be like, want to buy some spice pops? I want that on a t-shirt, man. I need that on a t-shirt merch idea. But no,
Sneeze over.
what else did you guys think about the twins kind of turning on each other super quick?
I think
I
that's
don't know.
I think that's giving. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're all good. Go ahead. Go for it.
Okay, I was just gonna say I think it is kind of in-world character development when it comes to the Coven itself. That even at such a young age, they are dedicated to the craft.
Yeah.
They are willing to give their life or take out any turncoats for it as well.
Dang Canadians.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it
sorry.
felt like no.
Sorry!
You go. No, you go.
Okay. I felt like it was like a natural progression because like in the beginning, like we saw them like messing around with those little like butterfly things, jellyfish.
Yeah.
And so I feel like how they were going back and forth between that and then May just getting like progressively more and more frustrated and angry with OSHA because OSHA keeps saying like, I don't think I want to do this. So I feel like it was like somewhat of a natural progression until the point where like May just like snaps, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's fair. I didn't really think about it that way. So, yeah. Sarah?
Kids, yeah.
Or Charlie?
Kids fine.
Or,
Well, I was about to say, me and, I mean, kids are kids is a way of saying it. That's
Yeah.
a way of putting it.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
No, I mean, talking to someone who has worked with kids.
Oh yeah, you're like the kid professional over here. You teach them. You teach them.
Yeah, I'm the Jedi Master, and they're all my Padawans. Kids do say some of the darnest things, and some very out of the pocket things where I'm like, okay then. But some of it kind of gave me flashbacks to kind of like the Old Republic with the twins, kind of like what we were mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
One was on the light side a little bit, and one was on the dark
Okay.
side. So I kind of saw that parallel a little bit, and then just kind of trying to disconnect and kind of see what they were trying to do with Acolyte. It felt natural for a little bit, like Nick said earlier, like May was like already torturing the little butterfly jellyfish thing, whatever it was, and OSHA was a little more like humble and like, don't do that, like let's respect it. And May was just very dedicated to the craft, whereas OSHA was just kind of questioning more things because she wants a different path. She kept saying over and over, like, I don't want to be like May. Like, I want to be my own person. I want to do my own thing. Like, we don't have to do everything together. Like, of course, she's my sister and I'll love her and I'll respect her, whatever craft she wants to do. But I want her to know that, like, this is nothing against you. This is just the path I want to go on. And because May was so frustrating, she's like, well, what are you doing? Like, you're going to split up the coven and everything. It was kind of like a, if I can't have you, no one can kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just like the community. If you're not gonna stay with this mindset, I guess I'm gonna have to kill you.
If you're not with me,
You're
you're
not
my enemy. Only a Sith
feels
an absolute. No,
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
No, but I think the Stanleys also brings up a good point too. Is like May is extremely like possessive over like they want to like do all the same stuff. Like when Mother Asaya like asks her questions and stuff like that, May answers for her, kind of like wanting to be. So I guess I get that. I guess I didn't really think about that off the bat, but
and I feel like that's very dark side too, very like wanting to control and possession of, where OSHA's more just like, no, I think I'm fine on my own. I'll try this out. I think this will be good for me.
Well, she's even getting like callings to like being a Jedi because she drew like the Jedi symbol. She drew a lightsaber. Like, unless like she's seen it before, like how does she know about that? Because from what unless they were like there's like again too many things that we just don't know. But like she already has like kind of like the Force vision of like how like Luke goes into the tunnel in Dagobah and sees himself as like Darth Vader. She sees May and some sort of thing. So maybe she has kind of some of that similar stuff, you know.
Yeah, and it's that possession too that I think Mother Anasea almost kind of gives up on, because you see when the Jedi show up and they're they sense the twins are hiding amongst the group. They're like, I know you're there. I freaking see you, dude. I see your hand poking out. And Mother Anastasia is like, don't you come forward, don't you? Damn it, you know. And
She's
then
so
they finally,
mad.
yeah, then they finally have that talk, and it seems like Coral is the one that is more protective over keeping the daughter, you know, in the coven than
For
Mother
sure.
Anastasia.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
So.
Well, like, and that's the thing too, is like the people that say like they don't like the acting or because I've seen a lot of that too. They're like, all the acting is bad. I don't know. I kind of felt something when she's sitting down with Osha and like talking. She's like, "What do you want? Like, fear shouldn't guide your decision. Like, what do you?" And then she like hugs her, and she's like crying, and May's crying, and then she wipes away the tears of May. Sorry, Osha, not May. Osha doesn't see it. Like, I do feel like there's something there. Like, it made me feel something, you know. So I'm like, I don't think the acting is so bad. Like, I think they do have some of that, you know. Yeah, are some of the lines delivered wonky? Yeah, but Star Wars is not known for the best dialogue, dude. Like, I love Star Wars. I love it to death. But George isn't a mastermind when it comes to writing dialogue between certain characters. Sometimes,
Dude,
and sometimes he is. So it's like it is a give and a take. But
in Attack of the Clones, when he wrote in, "Do you want a cup of Jawa juice?" You know, I really felt that. I really felt like that. That really resonated.
Where does it
with
come
me.
from?
Yeah.
see, for me, it was Camino Saber Tard. I do.
How do you know?
What do you
Yeah.
know?
No one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.
The cloners. How big
Extra
your
Chester for life.
pocketbook is. All right, enough of the impressions. I think that's all the questions I had. This is longer than I thought. We're almost at 2 hours right now. We're at an hour and 50.
I knew this
So-
would be a big one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the chat was also popping off tonight. I appreciate all you guys coming in. Whether you loved it, you hated, or whether you were somewhere in the middle. That's kind of where I started it, and that's where I'm going to end it. You know, I appreciate all you guys coming in here and at least being maybe somewhat open-minded, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I do appreciate you guys coming in here and just nerding out with us and being nerds. Because at the end of the day, that's all we want to do is just be nerds. Whether you love the shows, whether you hate the shows, or whether you're indifferent, like we just want a safe place to talk about stuff and just be respectful. And I think that's, you know, what we do a lot of here. And it's awesome. So unless you guys have anything else to add, we'll close it out.
There
I
was
just want.
one.
Oh,
Oh,
Uh,
there's two things. The power of two. The power of many.
I'll
can't
just
help it.
go quick because mine's kind of short. But there's just one detail that I noticed that we haven't brought up yet. When the Jedi walk into the coven, we see like their breath on the air, but not from the witches.
Oh,
So
I
it's
didn't
like
notice that.
I feel like it's like a weird, like eerie, like chill in the air because they're not like supposed to be there.
Yeah. Well, didn't they even say like they like sliced the pad or something like that?
Yeah,
like
they were like
sliced it, like
Jedi
broke into
sliced
it.
yeah.
Yeah, like hacking, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. JT.
Mine was just a quick little gripe was when they were showing the girls like how to use the Force, and you had the power of one, you know, not much effort, but then the power two, whoa, Force push, and then they're doing like the actors. This is where the acting kind of took me out of it a little bit. They're doing like, they're
I
doing
thought
like,
it was cool how they held hands, though. I don't know.
I don't know, the way that they were trying to Force push like that. I was like, okay. I don't know. That was just a little cringe.
I
to
think
me.
that's just a thing. Like we don't have the Force kind of in real life. I know we have people.
What are you talking
who
about?
do. Well, maybe you have the Force. I don't have the Force in real life. I wish.
You think I'm drinking my Dr. Pepper right now?
Dr.
no.
Pepper gives you the Force.
True story.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's this, you know, to each their own, I guess, on that one. But I do get where you're coming from. It does when they're just like she's like, you know. But you can even say the same thing, I guess, with Palpatine. I mean, you do see the lightning come out of Palpatine's, but Palpatine's even going like this and like unlimited power. You know, like yeah. Sometimes it can
Some
be a
people
little
didn't go to Saiyan University. Some people went to the Turtle School.
Turtle
some
Hermit,
people
yeah.
went to Avatar. Like just people are
different strokes, different folks, I guess.
Even though it was a Saiyan Prince was much better.
But with that, I think we're gonna close out. I appreciate all you guys being there. Their links aren't down below right now, but they will be. I just dropped the ball and didn't have those in there, but they're on all the other ones too. So if you want to go check out those as well. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us. And as always, may the force be with you. Peace out, guys.
Stay classy, San Diego.